Hello and welcome back to the Medisoul podcast. I'm your host, Holly Janes, and I am the founder of Medisoul Wellness, where I talk about and teach spirituality, meditation, the paranormal, and everything in between. Medisoul Wellness is a spiritual-based school that teaches you all these topics. In today's topic, we are going to be talking about astral projection. There's a lot of questions around astral projection, and I want to kind of go over some of the most common questions and answer them as best as I can. First, we want to get into, what is astral projection? So astral projection has two types to it. The first type is the one you're thinking of. It's the one where you step out of your body and you act as a ghost. There is a book out there and a lot of material called the Seth material. And the Seth material was done by a woman named Jane Roberts who would actually astral project. She would leave her body. She would astral project out of her body, and this being named Seth would step in and talk through her body. So astral projection in that sense is when your soul steps out of your body and you are like a ghost that is traveling around outside of your body. It's very vivid, very real, very much like you died, but you're not dead. And that's the type of astral projection that a lot of people think of. But there's another type of astral projection where it's kind of like remote viewing, where you get into a meditation and you astral project into the spirit world. It's a combo of astral projecting and remote viewing. And it's where you are tapping in with your consciousness and you're traveling and astral projecting with your consciousness, with your soul. So you're not fully stepping out of your body the same way you are when you're doing the astral projection where you're like a ghost. Now, the one that we're going to be talking about today is mostly the one that you can do in a meditation. The one where you can step out of your body is difficult for a lot of people to do. It's possible because people do it, but it's not as easy as doing the meditation one. So I would strongly suggest starting with the meditation one. And if you are capable of doing astral projection where you can actually step out of your body, then go for it. I do not have that ability, and I have tried multiple times. So I want to talk a little bit about the one where your soul steps out of your body, and then we'll get into the meditation one. So the one where your soul steps out, the way that I have heard that you can do it is it's like your physical body and your soul body are obviously connected as one, but you want to pull your soul body out of your physical body. And one of the ways that I've learned that you can do this is if you lay down and get comfortable. You need to be comfortable. And as you're laying there, first off, you 100% have got to protect yourself if you're going to do this. Even if you can do this, you need to protect yourself. But it's almost like you try to remove thought from your mind. This is how I've been practicing it, where you lay there, quiet your body, quiet your mind, try not to think, try not to analyze, and just imagine that you're like sitting up, but you're sitting up outside of your body. And when I have practiced this, I can feel this tug, this pulling in my abdomen that I can feel is like my soul's trying to get out of my body. And it makes me nauseous. It gives me motion sickness. And after trying this for a couple of minutes, I feel kind of queasy. So I don't do it anymore. And then I stop, and then I'll try it again later. But I haven't actually been able to fully pull out. But there are quite a few people out there who absolutely can do this. And one technique I heard from someone was, imagine that you are rolling onto your side, but you're not moving your body, and you kind of roll your way out of your body. This is how you can do astral projection where your soul comes out of the body. But this is not an area that I'm very good at. So you're going to have to find people who can actually do this to teach you and train you, because that is not where I excel. How I use astral projection is with meditation. And this is the easiest way to do astral projection, because like I said, you're kind of astral projecting and remote viewing at the same time. And remote viewing is where you're looking at a scene or talking to beings or whatever, but you're kind of astral projecting yourself to the scene. So you're doing the same thing. So the one that I'm talking about is where you get into a meditation, you protect yourself. You always protect yourself no matter what you're doing. It just in general, especially spiritual based people who are connected psychically, but everyone should be protecting themselves, especially if you're going to start trying to astral project in your meditations. Now, in my school, MediSoul Wellness, that I'm teaching, I teach you how to meditate, because meditation's the tool that you're going to use in order to astral project into the spirit world. So how you do that is you sit down, protect yourself, close your eyes, get comfortable, but you don't want to be so comfortable that you go to sleep. You need to sit up in a way that you're comfortable and you're relaxed and you're not focused on your body, but you're not laying down and you could take a nap. So you don't want to do that, because what you're going to do is condition your body to take a nap every time you try to meditate, and you don't want to do that. So once you do that, you protect yourself in the meditation, and then in your mind, it's like you're standing up out of your body. You're standing up into the room that you are in. And in your mind, you try to get a visual of the room that you are in. And it's your room, so you should be able to see the items that are in there. But not everybody is visual. You might know it, you might see it, you might hear it, you might get senses that you're standing up out of your body, but you might see it as well. If you are visual, then that's what you're aiming for, is to kind of see the room. And from there, you're technically astral projecting, because now you are seeing the room, but you're seeing it in your mind almost like a movie. Then you can go places. We'll talk about how that works and everything, but I want to get into these questions to make sure that we answer some of the most common questions when it comes to astral projection. So is astral projection the same as an out-of-body experience? Yes, it's exactly the same. An out-of-body experience and an astral projection are just the same thing with different words. It's like calling a rock in English, and every other language has a different word for rock, but it's still a rock. Astral projection and out-of-body experiences are basically the same thing. Is it the same as lucid dreaming? Lucid dreaming happens when you're asleep and you're in a dream and you can control the dream. It's not the same thing. Astral projection, you are awake and you are in control of your meditation, or your soul has full-blown pulled out of your body and it's walking around like a ghost, where everything is extra heightened and everything is clear as can be, but you just don't have a physical body. It's like you're a ghost. So lucid dreaming, not the same thing. Can anyone do astral projection, or do you have to be gifted? Depends. First, if you want to actually pull out of your body, I am very good at being able to meditate, remote view, tap into the angelic world. I can astral travel all over the place, but I cannot pull out of my body like a ghost. So, do you have to be gifted? No. You just have to be trained. That's all. So, can anyone do it? It depends on which one you want to do. If you want to do the meditation one, yes. You just have to learn. If you want to do the one where your soul steps out of your body, you can try. You can be trained, find someone to teach you, and see if you can do it. And if you can, great. But either way, you can do astral projection one way or the other. Is astral projection dangerous? If you do not protect yourself, than it is. I have heard stories of people who naturally are gifted at being able to astral project, where their soul steps literally out of their body and they can travel around like a ghost. And one of the stories that I heard was this person was capable of doing that, did it all the time, and went off to astral travel. And when they came back to their body to go back into their body, something was trying to get into their body. And so this person kind of had to push it out of the way and get into the body so that they didn't end up possessed. Because once that happens, then they can't get back in. Something else took over. So is it dangerous in that sense? Yes. But that person stopped doing astral projection because of that. You don't need to stop doing it. You just need to keep yourself protected. Protect yourself, protect your room, protect the whole building. You have 3 or 4 layers of protection all around you. You're fine to astral travel. It's the protection that matters. And this leads to the next question. Can something take over my body while I'm gone? Yes, because this has happened. And there have been, okay, first off, the soul and life on earth is a lot weirder and more complex than you really want to know about. And if your soul is not in your body, can something else take over? That person that I just told you about had to push something out of the way that was trying to take over. And that means, yes, something else can take over. There are people whose bodies have been taken over by something else. Haven't you ever seen people who are like a certain way, they have a certain personality or a certain way about them, and then all of a sudden they completely change personalities like out of the blue, and they just seem like a completely different person? It's because something else took over. Now that could be possession, it could be soul stuff, it could be a walk-in, it could be lots of different things. But as far as astral projection goes, yes, something could take over. So that's why you need to make sure that you are very much protected. Can you get lost and not come back? No. And the reason why is because there is a silver cord that attaches your soul to your body. As long as that silver cord is attached to you and your body, no matter how far away you go, you will always be able to come back. It's when that cord is severed that you have a problem. So, no, you can't get lost. Will you encounter dark or negative entities? Probably. And the reason why is even in meditation, you're stepping into the spirit world. The spirit world is where all of these beings exist. So think of Earth, and you only get one aspect. You get to see Earth life. You get to see people, plants, animals, and everything that's on this planet. But you're not seeing through the veil. Some people do see through the veil. Naturally, clairvoyants do. And they're seeing ghosts and all kinds of beings. When you actually astral project into the spirit world, then you are connecting with these darker or negative beings, because that's where they are. That's where ghosts are. That's where the aliens operate. Aliens figured out a way to connect with us through this veil. So they can walk in this veil and still be a physical being. They're not spirit beings. They just know how to walk within that veil. So are you going to encounter these things? Yes, most likely. But again, protect yourself. I cannot stress this enough. Spiritual protection is your friend, especially when you're dealing with spiritual paranormal topics. You have got to learn how to protect yourself. It is crucial. Is it evil, demonic, or spiritually forbidden to astral project? Of course not. It's a natural response for a lot of people who actually know how to do this. It's not evil. Why would it be evil? There's nothing evil about it. You're astral projecting. If it wasn't supposed to happen or wasn't meant to happen, it wouldn't. Demonic? There is absolutely nothing demonic about this. This is literally your soul just stepping out of your body and going and exploring the spiritual world. It has nothing to do with demons other than you might run into one in the spirit world. But again, you don't have to hang out with those things when you meditate. You can go to different places, like go to your spirit guides or go to some place that's a higher vibration. Demonic and evil beings and things like that hang out in low vibration places in the spirit world. So unless you're hanging out in the muck, you're not going to deal with these things. Is it forbidden? Of course not. Why would it be forbidden? There's no reason for it to be forbidden. People do it. People remote view. People astral project during meditation, and people step out of their bodies all the time. And it's normal. It's fine. So it's not forbidden. What does it actually feel like when you are leaving your body? Okay, so when you're trying to leave your body physically, like you're actually trying to get your soul out of your body, it can feel like you're being pulled. The way that I feel it, it's like something is grabbing the center of me and yanking, and it's causing this almost like motion sickness as you're trying to pull yourself out. Some people say they don't feel anything because it's a natural gift for them. Now, if you're doing this in meditation and you're remote viewing and you're astral projecting to the spirit world to talk to your guides or whatever, it just feels like you're in a meditation. Your body is completely relaxed, but in your head, there's a lot of stuff going on, and it does seem like you're making it up. But the more you meditate and the more you astral project into the different dimensions, like let's say you go to the angelic dimension, which is a much higher vibration. In there, you can talk to your spirit guides. So while you're sitting there and your mind is very quiet, your body's very quiet, and you're saying, okay, I'm stepping up out of my body and I'm going to float all the way up and I'm going to go up into the angelic realm, and you go into a space that, let's say it looks like grass and trees, and you're standing there and you ask, I want to meet my animal spirit guide. And one of them comes in, you start talking to them, and you think, that all of this is going on in your head, and you're just making it up, right? But if you're going through this meditation and you're talking to spirit guides or you're astral traveling to different places, if you just open your eyes, you are going to feel very dazed and disconnected and spaced out because your soul isn't connected to your body anymore. Just because you haven't stepped out of your body like a ghost doesn't mean that your soul isn't off connecting to your spirit guides or wherever you're going. So you can't just open your eyes and go about your day. You will constantly stay in that dazed, disconnected feeling for a while. You have to bring yourself back down and reconnect to your body. So it's going to feel like you're kind of making it up in your head, but you're not. You're going to feel just relaxed. But when you're leaving your body during the meditation one, it feels fine. It's the physical pulling out that's a little different. So what techniques actually work for astral projection? So for me, it's meditation. Using meditation as a tool to be able to astral project into the spirit world is the easiest way because anybody and everybody can learn to do it. I can't guarantee that you're actually going to be able to pull your soul out of your body like somebody who can walk around like a ghost, but you can do it in meditation. You just have to learn how. So the best technique to start with is meditation and get used to that and then go from there. Which gets into the next question. Do you need to be good at meditation first? It really will help. The better you are at meditating, the easier it's going to be to astral project. So where can you go during your astral travel? Absolutely anywhere. This is one of my strongest skills. This is why I build the school that I build, it's based around guided meditation. It's based around meditation because meditation is the tool that I teach you how to astral project. So where can you go? Oh, I have seen so many things in my meditations because I wanted to know how far can I go in my astral travels when I'm meditating. And between meditating for myself and meditating with clients for other people, so I was gathering information for them, I have seen so many things. So let me kind of talk about a couple of them here. I have learned to astral travel into the angelic realm. I have created a space where I can go to talk to my spirit guides. So I go to this space and I have met my animal guides. Like right now I have an animal guide that I spend more time with. He's a white wolf and his pack is more in this realm, but in a meditation, I can pull out of my body and go talk to them. And they talk back. It's like a telepathic conversation. I have talked to my other spirit guides, but I go up to the angelic realm and I talk to Archangel Michael is one of my main guides that I talk to all the time. Then I have Arion is another one and Ezekiel. Those are like my three main ones. My grandfather talks to me. He died when I was 2. So he talks to me in that angelic realm. He comes and, tells me things that are going on. I have gone into the past, like past lives, because you can do that in the meditation. You astral travel to your past lives. And I have seen a lot of my past lives. I have gone out into space. I have been to different planets. I wanted to connect with the gray aliens. I wanted to see who they are, what they are, where they come from. So I wanted to go to them. And I went to, I think, one of their home worlds. I get the vibe that they're kind of all over the place. But I went to one and it was interesting because I remember the building that I go in. And it looks like outside, it looks like a desert, almost like Mars. It looks like that, but it's not Mars. And there's this building and it's circular. And when I go inside, all around, it's a circle, right? So there's all these windows in this circle. And then there's like a normal ceiling, but there's all these windows all around you. So you can see like the whole environment. And the floor is made out of this like dark kind of wood. And then there's this platform and I walk up these stairs and that's where some of these alien beings are. I mean, they're all over the place. But for some reason, when I go to talk to those gray alien beings, I end up in that building. And it's always that building and it always looks the same. I have gone and looked at other people's past lives or connected to their higher selves. So I have seen other people's homes, soul-wise, where they come from, or I've been to other planets, other dimensions. I have talked to people who have died. I have talked to family members of my own. I have talked to a lot of my past life people. I've talked to my higher self. I've talked to a lot of different gods and beings. I remember one time, I go with Michael all the time, and I wanted to meet the goddess Kalima. And so I said to Michael, I want to go meet Kalima. I want to see what she's like. So we astral traveled even more to her location, and there was this building. I don't remember what the outside looked like, but on the inside, we were going to go in and there was this path, and on either side of the path was this like pool of water. Now, Michael told me before we got in there, he said, listen, you're going to go in there because there's rules and etiquette when you're doing these things. And Michael said, you're going to go in there. You're going to have to kneel down and you're going to keep your head down and she'll come out, but you can't look at her. And I'm never doing what I'm told. So we walk in, and I told him, absolutely, no problem. So we walk in, and there's pools on either side, and we had to walk down this path, and then we got to the edge, and it was like this, I don't know, like a platform that she was going to come out on. So Michael went to the left, I went to the right, and you had to kneel down on one knee and look down. And then when I did that, she came out, and I looked up, and I looked at her, and she had on these pants that, like, I don't know, they had like little jingle kind of sound to them, like they were made out of little teeny tiny cymbal looking things. And she didn't have any shirt on. She had like a bunch of arms, and she was blue. And I looked at her and I was like, whoa. And of course, I'm meeting her for the first time, and I said, "You're blue." And she looked at me with this look like, I can't believe you just talked to me, and got irritated and walked off. And I looked at Michael, and he looked at me with this look like, what the heck is wrong with you? And I was like, what? I don't know. I wanted to see what she looked like. So I've talked to all kinds of different gods, different beings. I've been to different places. I even went to the dark world because I wanted to see if I could go. So I went to the demonic world and the dark world, and there are some really messed up worlds out there. I went to different worlds and different dimensions. I went to one place where it was like, I don't know if it was a vampire world, but when I got there, it was very dark. Like it was always nighttime, which I suppose makes sense because it's, vampires. But I remember there was this guy standing way at the distance in he was standing like under a streetlight or something. And it looked like a guy in a trench coat. So I was like, oh, a native. So I wanted to go and meet this guy. So I kind of went over there, and he looked like a man in a trench coat. But when I got closer, I realized that it wasn't a trench coat. It was wings. And he looked like a combo of a man mixed with a bat. And when he opened up his arms, they looked like human arms, but the coat was wings. It was like bat wings. But when he closed his arms together, it looked like a trench coat. It was the weirdest thing. And I was like, whoa, yeah, this is not what I expected. So I left that world. And so I've seen a lot of different places and been to a lot of different stuff in the spirit world. So are you able to go somewhere? Where can you go? You can go pretty much anywhere. I have been to the very bottom of existence. It's almost like I went as low and as far down as I could go. For me, it's up and down. Like the up goes to the higher vibration, down goes to the lower vibration. Some people see it as it's all the same, but for me, it's an up and down thing. And I went as far down to the darkness that I could just to see what was down there. And it was almost like those beings were like amoebas. They were beings, and they existed, but they were kind of like blobs or shadows or just things that just existed on instinct. They didn't really have a lot of consciousness. They just kind of existed, and it kind of went up from there. So yeah, you can absolutely go to so many different places. Can you visit people who have died? 100%. It's so much easier to go into the spirit world in a meditation and connect to people who have died. You can talk to pretty much anybody. You can do a couple of things. You can go to a space that's obviously protected, but the higher you can go in the energy, like the angelic realm is a very high vibration. If you can go there, then that's the best place to talk to people who have died. Because the information will be a lot clearer than if you're trying to connect with people while you're still in the earth realm. But if you haven't done any soul work or energy clearing, it might be difficult for you to get into that higher vibration. So that's why you got to cleanse your energy, clear out your chakras, heal your trauma, stuff like that. Because the more you do, the higher your vibration goes, the easier it is to connect to these higher level beings. You're not going to be able to talk to them if your energy isn't already vibrating at a much higher level. So yeah, you absolutely can talk to people who have died. You could talk to family. You can talk to people that you don't know, people that you're looking for, famous people. You could talk to pretty much anybody. You just pull them into your space where you are. You know, like if you're meditating and you're picturing yourself at the beach, for example, you just ask this person to come in. Again, you have to be protected because when you start calling things to you, if you're not protected, you could call dark things to you as well, which is why you want to do this in a much higher vibration, like the angelic realm, like I've been saying. So you could talk to people who have died. I've talked to my grandmother. I've talked to my grandfather. I've talked to all of the family members that I know of who have died, just to see what they're doing, just to see what's going on. Weirdly, a lot of them didn't want to talk to me. They thought I was weird. They just thought that I was weird, that I could do this. So I just stopped talking to them. The only one that seems to have accepted that is my grandfather. And that's it. Can you meet your spirit guides there? 100%. You can astral travel to the spirit world and meet your spirit guides. You just need to go to a higher vibration. Like I keep saying, go to the angelic realm. Get in there. And then start talking to your spirit guides, because then you're going to get way clearer information. And what do I mean by that? When you meditate and you don't leave and you just close your eyes and you start trying to connect to the spirit world, Earth is very noisy. There's a lot of stuff happening here. Not only is there a ton of humans, there's a bunch of animals, there's a bunch of plants, but there's also a spirit world here. There's aliens here. There's demonic things here. There's all kinds of stuff going in and out of this realm. When you rise above it and go to the next realm above, which is the angelic realm or something equivalent to that, that's when you can get accurate information from your spirit guides, get to meet them, get to know them, get to know who they are. That's where you're going to meet your real guides and not be tricked into something that's telling you it's your guide when it's not, which is why you want to raise your vibration. And the last question is, why do people say it changes their relationship with death? When you start to realize that there is so much more to existence than Earth, you no longer fear death. I don't fear death. Not at all. Because I know what's out there. I know what's coming. I know where I'm going. I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I know why I'm here. And I learned all this by astral traveling into the spirit world. When you go there, like look at people who have had near-death experiences. They basically astral traveled into the spirit world. And they came back. But when they went there, they realized, wow, Earth is not it. This is not the end-all be-all. Not at all. When you start meditating or astral projecting or doing anything like this, where you're connecting to the spirit world and these other places, you start to go, there is a whole existence outside of Earth. And I see these people all the time that are trying to prolong life. They're trying to find a way to cheat death. And Earth, this doesn't really have anything to do with astral projection, but Earth is a spiritual school. It's a school for souls. Didn't start out that way. It was supposed to be a vacation spot for souls, but now it's a school for souls. And you come down here to learn lessons. And once you learn your lessons, you die, you move on. And then you learn and grow on the other side. And then you come back to Earth and you learn more lessons. And the life that you're in right now, well, let's say that Earth is like going from first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, all the way up, right? Well, the life you're in now, what if you're in third grade and you learn all the lessons that you learn and then you die and you cross over and you move on to fourth grade. And so you come back down and you reincarnate, you have another life, and then you go from that and you come back and you're in fifth grade. But if you continue this one life, it's like being in the third grade for the rest of your life. You never go any further. You never graduate. You never learn. You never grow. You never do anything. If you understood that, you wouldn't fear death. You need death. Death is what helps you grow. Death sucks. Don't get me wrong. It sucks for the living. It can suck for the dead too, but it's not as bad. The dead kind of look at us and go, I know you're sad and I'm really sad and I'm going to miss you, but I got to go. Whereas the living are like, please don't go. Please don't leave me. Please don't go. It's very heartbreaking. It's hard for the living to let go of somebody they care about to death. But when you start learning how to meditate and astral project into the spirit world, you can go talk to that loved one. It's not the same thing. And I understand that. But it gives you a way to connect with your family or your loved one that you can't do outside of astral projection. And when you start talking to these people again and you start connecting to spirit guides and you start realizing that there's a whole bunch of stuff that exists outside of this one place that you call home right now, which is Earth, that's when you start to go, wow, there is so much more to existence. And you don't fear death anymore. There's nothing to fear. It's just a continuation. And so that is hopefully giving you some kind of answers to what is astral projection, how does it work, how do you do it? And I mean, the bottom line is you have to learn. You have to learn how to do it. And honestly, meditation is going to be the easiest way for you to learn how to start doing astral projection. So everything that I mentioned today, everything that we talked about, this is kind of literally the main focus of MediSoul Wellness that I'm developing. I'm building an online school that teaches you how to use meditation to do exactly everything that I just told you. And there's so much more that you could do besides just what I told you. If this resonates with you, go to the show notes, look for the links, and go explore MediSoul Wellness. And I want to say thank you. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for listening. My name is Holly, and I will talk to you in the next one.